Sharat Kole, quickly coming to you, and there was a point that was made by Dr. Rao about how our research needs to be up to the mark. How do we find ourselves at a position that the West is then compelled to take notice of what is being done, applaud it, recognize it, and acknowledge it as well?
Well, good evening, Megha, and good evening to my fellow panelists and all the NewsX viewers. Well, I think there's a problem of acceptability also. I'll address the issue which you said at the end, that when we speak to the West, somehow, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but they can't digest that an emerging, a developing economy like India can develop a vaccine. So the problem, if I would not hesitate to say that the problem was more of acceptability, and there is a certain degree of envy that how this nation of snake charmers can develop a vaccine. So for me, the glass is half full. I beg to differ from my previous couple of panelists who are looking at glass half empty. I don't say that the glass is entirely full. There are a lot of deficiencies. We were only 0.64% as far as the budget allocation is concerned on R&D, Megha. I think that by itself speaks volumes. But the fact that we developed an indigenously developed 5G, the fact that we finally our vaccines went through, there were political reasons and there were geopolitical reasons why there were hiccups in between in approval. Finally, we found that the Chinese vaccines were useless. Our vaccines work. That's one. We developed indigenous 5G, as I said. We've gone to the space. We are the first ones to land on the south pole of the moon. Our startups may be lagging behind. I agree that only 40% of R&D total expenditure in India is coming from the private sector. 60% is coming from the government sector. And that too is not being spent properly. I completely agree with that. But the speed at which we are progressing, today we are making aircrafts indigenously. So you can imagine with such a small allocation and such a small commitment, and even if I agree with my previous couple of panelists, that with such a small effort, which is minuscule, in front of what the West is doing, somebody said that we are not even in the race, we are the audience. I would again beg to differ, even if we are the audience for a moment. Well, despite being in the audience, if we can do this much, imagine when we are in the race. I'm using his words now. Imagine when we take the plunge, we are in the race. Where can we go? We can, I think the Indian mind is an extraordinary mind, and we have been victims of politics, international politics. We have been subdued, we have been curtailed, we have been snubbed time and again. But I think this India is a changed India. 353 new universities coming up since 2014, Megha, is an achievement by itself. We've got All India Institute of Medical Sciences coming. We've got so many IITs which have been set. Yeah. This government, and I also beg to differ, Megha, that only Prime Minister Modi can do it. Prime Minister Modi alone cannot do it. He is a man who can get the task done. He knows how to get it done. He can't go to the universities and set up laboratories there. He knows how to get the task done. He will get it done. We have seen the difference after 2014. It is just that the past 65 years were terrible. So we are carrying a reflection of those past 65 years. We are trying to reflect them over our last 10 years, which I think would be incorrect, Megha.
Okay. Fair enough, sir. Fair enough, sir. We're moving, we're trudging.